All right, what's going on, family? We are on, and I want to help you to understand the wealth transfer more accurately, what you can do to position yourself, and to do exactly what you need to do to start building your portfolio and allowing yourself to have a little bit of leverage in life. I want to talk about that. You guys asked me to talk a little bit more about this, and so that's why I am continuing to do that. All right. Let me open up my comments just so I can pay attention to you guys. What's going on? Hello, everybody. All right, we got some good stuff to talk about, as always. And so I'm excited to share this with you. I want to help you to understand your opportunity and what exactly you need to do for the opportunity to be yours. And so we're going to talk about some really good stuff. I'm going to help you to know exactly what you need to do, only because I've been encountering a lot of people who still have certain ideas about wealth and what it is that they need to do. Some people don't know what to do. So I really want to establish some understanding for you because that is important. And let me say this, y'all, the world needs you to be wealthy. When you don't know what to do with money, it ends up back in the hands of someone who does. And you don't want that to happen. Hey, I see you guys in here. What's going on? Hey, say happy summer. Yes. All right. So today I want to help you to change that. All right. We don't want your money to end up in somebody else's hands because you don't know what to do with it. So trust me, somebody is waiting on your finances because they know what to do with it. So I want to walk you through why wealth keeps rising away from the average person. That's just going to keep happening. And the reason why, even in this day and age, cash alone is not going to save you. And the three core things that wealthy people are still buying right now to build long term freedom. So I want you to have a takeaway with knowing the three things that you need to continue to buy because that is what is going to make you wealthy. All right. Hey guys, Rodney says XRP and H bar, and I have that too. I love me some XRP and H bar. I got some long-term holdings and some short-term holdings for both of those. Everybody's different in what they feel is comfortable with investing in. And I'm not here to tell you exactly what to invest in. As a matter of fact, here's a quick heads up. This is for educational purposes only. I'm not your financial advisor and I don't pretend to be. Okay. Investing can make you money, but it can also make you lose everything. And I have to say that, including your sleep and maybe even a few hairs along the way. So talk to your financial advisor. The one with the framed certificates and the 40-year plan to help you retire just in time for that one vacation before your knees give out. I'm just a passionate, slightly obsessive investor who has made good money by learning, testing, and even messing up a few times. So take what helps, ignore what doesn't. And remember, it's your money and it's your call at the end of the day. All right. So I want to help you to shift your mindset, your confidence, and your strategy, guys. Oh, yeah. Everybody's waiting on that retirement, right? Okay, 30 years from now. All right. First of all, let me just say this. I want to establish this that money does not flow from the top down. It flows from the bottom up. And I don't think a lot of people get that. So we've kind of sold ourselves on this idea that when tax cuts or, if you get free money, checks, whatever, bonuses, when it hits the market, it's going to trickle down. But that's not how it actually works in real life, right? Where should let me break it down. Like think about this. If I hand somebody $50,000 who have never studied money, never built discipline, never had structure, that money is not going to stay in their hands for long. It's going to go up the ladder. Where is it going? I don't know what car you want. Okay. What brand shoes you wear? You like Gucci, you shop at Amazon. It's going to go to somebody else's investment account because the money doesn't stay where it lands. It moves where the structure is. And if you don't have structure, you will not keep it. It's just like trying to give somebody the lottery money. People trying to get money quick, and their mind cannot manage money. This is why Proverbs 13 and 11 says, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." That's why I keep talking to y'all about compounding wealth, is that when you continue consistently to add and add and add, it's a game changer. When people suddenly get money and they don't know what to do with it, it's just gone fast. So even if a breakthrough does happen for you, I'm telling you, you're going to lose it if you're not mentally prepared. So the goal isn't just about getting money. Remember, it's about multiplying what you receive. All right. So there's just a lot of things that people don't know about money. So I want to go deep and help you to understand the most expensive mistake that you can make. All right. The most expensive mistake that you can make. And here is what it is. Looking at the comments here and there. It is being uneducated about money. All right? Not necessarily lazy, just uneducated. Because when you don't know, you can't move on what you don't know. And most people don't know what they don't know, okay? And so it keeps you stuck if you cannot move on what you don't know. And most people are not, they're not paralyzed because they don't want to grow. They're paralyzed because they don't feel confident in what to do next. And that is what keeps them locked in fear, afraid to invest, afraid to ask questions, afraid to make a move. They rather stay in what is familiar, even if it's scarcity, because at least scarcity feels safe to you. And I always mention it's like the children of Israel when they were free, but they wanted to go back to Egypt. Hear me, because freedom without understanding can feel overwhelming to a lot of people. Okay. Right. So, this is why I'm big on education. When you build understanding, you build confidence. And when you build confidence, you can finally move, you build momentum. All right. So I want to help you to understand, what do the wealthy actually buy? Even specifically, I'll get in detail and how you can start today. So let's talk about one of the most misunderstood principles when it comes to building real wealth. And it is about what wealthy people actually buy. It's not about just, yes, I do want you to spend less on stupid stuff and stuff that just is a liability and a waste of your time, until you have an established portfolio, at least. Because looking at people walk around in super expensive things, and then you ask them, do you have a property? Do you have a business? Any stocks? Any kind of assets? And it's disheartening when you got all of this wealth around you and on you, you know what I mean? And you don't have any assets. It doesn't make any sense, right? And so, everybody, they do have a different situation. I get that. But I do want to show you like categories where wealthy people do consistently invest. And I want you to kind of take some notes on that, and how you can do the same, even if you are starting, because this is the biggest myth. You got to have a lot of money. You don't. Even if you start with $5, $10, $100, whatever. Let's just act like you can start with $100. Okay. Of course, the first thing is that they buy assets. I keep telling you, buy assets. I'll tell you specifically some less risky assets. But I want to make this real clear. Wealthy people don't just save money. That's where everybody want to start. Let's save money. No, you put your money, you saving your money, and it's not doing anything for you. Now, I'm not talking about an emergency fund. Like, you do need to have cash on hand often for, an emergency fund. But even if you build your emergency fund up, it should probably be in a high yielding savings account. Okay. There's even stable coins now that give you 4% interest just for holding your money there. Okay. But wealthy people don't just save money, they make it work. You have to learn how to make your money work. One of my favorite ways is through ETFs. Now, a lot of people don't know what ETFs are. And because I talk to a lot of people and they're like, you said ET something, ET what's that? And even people who heard it don't really understand what it is. So let me help you understand what it is. ETFs are short for exchange traded funds. All right. So think of ETF like a basket of stocks, and not one individual company like Amazon or Apple, but a basket. Okay. So instead of betting on one company, you are investing in a collection of companies, which reduces your risk. Okay. And the reason why it reduces your risk is because, let's say, one company inside the ETF go bankrupt. And you know what? Sometimes good companies go bankrupt. I'm sure you guys have seen that happen before. Well, if one company goes bankrupt, no problem. An ETF will just adjust. Okay. So they'll adjust and they'll find another good company to replace it. It's built to basically survive dips, corrections, even full on crashes, and it still grows over time. That's why ETFs are really powerful for people who are new to investing, people who don't want to monitor the market every single day, or people who just want safer long term returns. This is not the only way to invest, but again, this is where people should start if they have no investments. Okay. Um, Now, individual stocks can also be very amazing. And yes, they do offer higher reward potential, but they do come with higher risk, higher reward. Okay. It's okay to have a little bit of risk in your portfolio. So, especially if you have a hedge and you have some safety. So, what's the strategy? I'll give you an example. If somebody was investing $100 as a beginner, I would say, for example, Tiffany said, I started with ETFs. Yeah. Um, and somebody said, wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, absolutely. So let's say you got $100, maybe $60 to $70 can go in a stable ETF like SCHD. That's a dividend stock. VOO is Vanguard's like S&P 500 stock. You can go with VTI. Now, there's no right or wrong, but me personally, I went with VTI. I have a lot of VTI and SCHD. Or for people who don't want to actually buy Bitcoin because they're still confused. And I say, don't make an investment when you're confused. That's why I say you have to get educated, because education will build confidence. So Bitcoin has a ETF. So even if you just crypto curious and you want to expose yourself to a little bit of crypto, you can throw even $5 in there. It doesn't, you can get a portion of it, right? So you could do $60 to $70 or 60 to 70%, I would say. Then you can do 20 to 30%. Let's say 20% in an individual stock you believe in. It could be a tech company, like an AI company, a defense stock like Palantir. I love it. That's in times if you feel like you're going into war, Palantir is a really good stock. You can go into healthcare innovations. There's a lot of different stocks you can go into that you may prefer. You might say, hey, I'm digging Uber. I like Netflix. I want Meta. There's so many different ones. I like Nvidia. And then you could put $10 in gold or a savings vehicle, such as a hedge, especially in uncertain times. I love silver and gold. It's a hedge. Okay. I don't think, well, gold went up and silver did, when the stock market was going down. I don't know if gold is going to make you a tremendous amount, but it is very safe, stable, and it is slow. It's grown a lot in the last year just because of what happened with the economy. So I'm saying you don't need $1,000 to start, guys. You need discipline, you need consistency, and you need a plan. Because if you wait till you have more money, you're going to look up a year later and still be in the same place. Do not be in the same place. Wealthy people do not think like that. They move small. They move smart. They move strategic, and they let time do heavy lifting. Okay. Assets grow your freedom. Stuff just grows in your closet, and it's not going to grow your freedom. All right. The second thing, and this is, hear me out on this, y'all. I'm telling you what they buy, and this is a forever staple. They buy knowledge. They buy knowledge, and that's why they don't stay broke. Most wealthy people just sit around and read books all day anyway. Okay. Especially investors. I mean, they really do. They love education. Let me just be real with you. Most people don't stay broke because they're lazy. They stay broke because they are ignorant. And nobody ever told them the rules of the game. If you stay ignorant, you're going to stay broke. They were not taught about investing. They were not taught about taxes, leverage, asset collection, allocation, compound growth. So what do the wealthy people do? They buy understanding. Okay. They invest in coaches, in courses, in conversations with people smarter than them. They attend events. They read books. They stay sharp. Wealthy people don't just invest in things. They invest in thinking. They really do. Because what they know is, and what I have learned to understand is, the greatest ROI comes from wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. That's Proverbs 4:7. Now, some people don't even know the difference between wisdom and understanding, okay? Because it says to get wisdom, but in all the wisdom that you get, also get understanding. That means they're two separate things, right? So I'm not going to assume that you know the difference between wisdom and understanding. So let me tell you the difference between wisdom and understanding. Wisdom is the application of truth. Wisdom is knowing what to do or not, when to do it, and how to apply what you know. It's rooted in insight and experience and spiritual discernment. In biblical terms, wisdom often comes from fearing or revering God. Revering God. It's also a divine compass for how you live, how you lead, and how you decide. Okay. Now, understanding is a little different because what understanding is it's more of the clarity behind the truth. Okay. It's the clarity. So, understanding is grasping the why behind a principle, the depth, the meaning, the reason, and it gives you stability and confidence. And that's why you need understanding, because without understanding, you may know what's right. You may know the wisdom, okay, but you may still hesitate or misapply it because you fully don't get it. So, what happens with understanding is it stabilizes your decisions. Okay. And also, Psalms 119, 104 says, through thy precepts, I get understanding. And then it says, I love the second part says, therefore, I hate every false way. Now, precepts are, that's another a scripture on understanding. So you can understand, you need understanding. Precepts are divine principles. Okay. Somebody said, understanding is grasping the why behind the principle. You got it right. Precepts are divine principles. And like when you study God's divine principles, you gain clarity, you'll gain insight, discernment, and you begin to understand. Listen to this. This is really good. You begin to understand when you get divine principles, you understand what is true and what is wise and what leads to life. And that's why the second part says, therefore, I hate every false way. Why? Because once you truly understand God's way of how he wants you to prosper, once you really understand the path of life that you should be going into and how you align with it, you begin to naturally reject what is fake, what is deceptive, and what is destructive. And let me tell you something, spending all your money on stuff that will not help you to elevate you into financial freedom is destructive. It's deceptive. Okay. And so you have to understand what it is that you are learning, and you have to learn how to implement it. I really, really believe that, because listen, if you hand a fool $1,000,000, they're going to lose it. It ain't about the money. If you hand a wise person $10, I guarantee you they'll multiply it. It is never about the amount, y'all. It's not about the amount. It's about the mind. Do not think you do not have enough. If you have the mind to elevate yourself above and start operating in wisdom and get understanding, I promise you, you will be 5, 10, 100 steps ahead of everybody else, even with a small amount. Okay. So let's not despise small beginnings. Now, the third thing that wealthy people build, and this is the last thing, is they build systems, not just routines, but actual systems. So instead of saying they buy leverage, because that's the third thing that they buy, I clarify it with talking about building systems that keep growing. So even when they're not watching, it keeps growing, meaning very simple, y'all. They automate investments. You should be automating investments. They deregulate, or let's say, I don't want to say deregulate. Let's say they delegate what drains them. That's what I'll say. They delegate what drains them, and then they structure their money to flow on purpose. You're not going to get wealthy on accident. Newsflash, guys. Nobody gets wealthy on accident. Oops, I done got wealthy. And if you do win a lottery, or you strike gold or whatever, you go to the casino and you're going to lose it just as quick as you got it if you don't have the mindset to manage the wealth. Okay. I promise you, you will lose it. You don't have a game plan. Okay. So, let's say you want to invest $100 every month. You got to automate certain things. You don't want to have willpower with all of this. Who wants willpower all the time? Right? That runs dry on a day that you just not feeling good, or you done got into an argument with your spouse, or your kids getting on your nerves and you just don't feel like doing nothing. And some days you're just not going to live up to what you're supposed to be living up to. That's natural, that's human. Let's all just know ourselves and understand a little psychology around human capacity, okay? So don't wait till you feel ready. You're not always going to feel ready. You're not always going to want to do the right thing. You must set up automations, set up an auto transfer to your brokerage. All right. Pick your ETF, automate it, walk away. Let time and discipline do the work. You ain't got nothing to do. While you argue with whoever, while you get mad at your boss or whatever it is going on in your day. Like, I mean, every day ain't peaches. Okay. So um that's not only smart, it's biblical. Honestly, the plans of the diligent, the Bible says, lead surely to abundance. In Proverbs, I love Proverbs. There's so many wisdom keys in Proverbs that really work. You can't build wealth with vibes and hustle alone, y'all. Again, this willpower stuff ain't gonna work. You need a system, one that works even on days when you're busy and when you're not feeling like it, even on days when life hits, even when your motivation runs low. And what else helps is accountability. Okay. So let me land the plane here so you guys can know and sober you and encourage you for a moment. Um, the wealth transfer that is happening in our economy currently, based upon the actions and the disciplines and the decisions that you make, is not just about who's getting more money. It's not. It's about who knows how to multiply what they have, right? Remember, the parable of the talents wasn't about, having a bunch of whatever. It doesn't matter if you got one talent, you got three, you got five. You need to learn how to multiply what you have. Okay. And if you want to be in that number, you've got to change how you think. It's just that simple. You cannot let fear anchor you. You cannot let the past define you anymore. And you cannot keep waiting for more before you move. Okay. The truth is, most people are waiting on this perfect timing or this perfect amount to get started. When I get this, I'm gonna do. When all that conditional living is not gonna work. You got something already in your hands. And if you don't, cut back until you do. Okay. But most people are waiting on the perfect time or the perfect situation or the perfect amount of money. And guess what? In that, they are wasting time that you can never get back. Meanwhile, wise people are getting understanding and they're using what they do have and they're letting compound growth do the rest. And if you need help with this, there is help available. If you like this, matter of fact, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications. It do help the algorithm. I always interrupt and say that. Please, if this blesses you in any kind of way, hit that like button because it really do help my video and it helps me to continue to get content out. But if you need help with this, I still should have, you can check to see a few slots open for my 90-day health and wealth challenge. I'm taking real people into this community and we're starting with the steps that you need to take. And now, you know what? There's people who are seeing their health come back. There's people who are seeing their energy rise. There's people who learn how to build portfolios, even if they never, ever invested anymore. And they're getting free from the bondage and from the ignorance. People are destroyed from a lack of knowledge, literally destroyed. You do not have to stay stuck. You don't have to wait for a miracle to drop from the sky. Sometimes the miracle is discipline. Sometimes the miracle is education. Sometimes the miracle is just doing the right thing long enough to see results. Come on. Y'all already know about it. Consistency matters. So don't miss moments that are open to you in life. Okay. Don't let fear make you waste years, and don't let lack prevent you from moving forward, and don't make a lack of knowledge steal your confidence. Start small, start little, do what you can, act on what you do know, implement what you have. If you got $5, like I said, you can be exposed with $5. This is not hard, you guys. I just want you to know that. And you know what? Let me say this too, because in the comments, there are so many scam artists. This how you know people are suffering and don't know what path they on, because they go in people's comments and they try to scam people in the comments. I'm gonna tell you exactly. I just want to expose this because I see it on my videos and I see it on other people's videos. And I always say something in the comments like, hey, watch out for these scam artists. When somebody come in here talking about, oh, I just made, $100,000 with Amy. And then somebody else come in and, oh, where'd you do that at? They all working in cahoots together. Where'd you do that? Oh, her name is this. And you know what I noticed? I told somebody today when I was talking to them on a call, I noticed that most of the time, 95% of the time, they use women's names. And I realized, I said, why do they? I was asking myself, why do they use women's names, a woman's name? And the reason why I think is because people trust women more, right? So when you see these names, I never see like a a Derek or a Dave. I never see men's name when it comes to this, and I think that's because they think that you trust women more. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of men's name, a man's name in the comments. I always see women's name. Am I saying that word? I feel like my language is off. I always see a woman's name. I say women's. Women is plural by itself. A woman. But it's I'm just so flustered by it because it makes me mad because some people are getting confused. Listen, I will never DM you. I will never comment and tell you to give me your money and send me a cryptocurrency this and send me, all of this stuff. Just be careful, y'all, because it is some crazy people in these comments when you talk about money. Okay. That is not me if they try to act like they're me or anything like that. Okay. So I just want you to nah, you still on point. I wanted to share that real quick because I just got to keep sharing it in the video so that you can know that is not me. I don't want you fooled. I don't want you to get mad at me and say I did anything. I am not that type of person. I think you can feel my vibe from when I talk. I'm very transparent and honest. I that is not me. Okay. So yeah, I just want you to know that and be very careful because there's a lot of scam artists these days. All right. The link is in the description of go to breakbigbarriers.com if you want to know more information about the 90-day challenge. Remember, please, if you enjoyed this video, hit a like button right now, hit the like button right now, like right now. Okay. And make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube page and turn on your notifications. And also in the comment, you can buy me a cup of coffee if you were blessed by this as well. I'm looking in the comments and just seeing if somebody said protect your bag. That's right, Rodney. Yeah. Is it there? Okay, yeah. Watch the replay if you haven't seen it. I'm just looking at a few of the comments just to see if I need to. Oh, somebody said a lot of the comments are automated bots to scam people. Okay, yep. Yeah, they work in cahoots too. They work together. All right, I just hit the like button. Thank you, David. Thank you. I signed up ready. Okay, overdue. All right, cool. All right. I just want to make sure I didn't have anything that I wanted to address. Listen, I'll be back on to do some more training, some more content, but put in the comment box if there is anything that you want me to talk about in detail. I'm here to serve you. I love this community and I'm going to keep getting valuable information to you and I'm going to keep helping you to learn how to win. It's all about winning at the end of the day. And that's exactly what we're going to do. All right. I'll see you guys later. I'll be back on. Live, learn, and laugh. All right.